Have you ever wondered what makes sourdough bread so special compared to store-bought loaves? Are you curious about that mysterious starter that sourdough bakers talk about, but intimidated by where to begin? What if I told you that creating your own sourdough starter is simpler than you think and could transform your kitchen into a source of incredible, nourishing bread? Let me introduce you to Gloria, my sourdough starter, who's been part of our family for over a year now. She's not just a jar of flour and water, she's a living culture that has helped me create incredible breads and other delicious baked goods. Gloria has helped me bake classic sourdough loaves, herb-infused focaccia, and soft English muffins. But her talents don't stop there. I've used her active form and her discard in sweet blueberry muffins, triple chocolate chip muffins, and even oatmeal cream pies that have a subtle tang that keeps people asking for the recipe. Each creation carries that distinctive sourdough flavor, complex, slightly tangy, and deeply satisfying in a way that commercial yeast simply cannot replicate. So, what exactly is a sourdough starter? It's your kitchen's living culture of wild yeast and beneficial bacteria. Unlike commercial yeast that comes in packets, wild yeast is all around us, in the air, on grain surfaces, even on your hands. When you create the right environment with flour and water, these wild yeasts and lactobacilli bacteria move in and establish a stable, self-sustaining ecosystem. The yeast creates the rise in your bread, while the bacteria produce those complex flavors and act as natural preservatives. This partnership has been feeding humanity for thousands of years, long before commercial yeast existed. And there's something profound about participating in this ancient process. We're connecting with generations of bakers who understood that the best things in life require patience and faith. What makes sourdough special is this slow fermentation process. It breaks down proteins and starches that can be hard to digest, creates complex flavors, and produces bread that stays fresh longer naturally. Now let me show you how beautifully simple it is to create your own starter. You need just two ingredients and a few basic tools. A kitchen scale for precise measurements, a clean glass jar as your starter's home, 50 grams of flour. Here I'm using an organic whole wheat flour, 50 grams of filtered water, a thin spatula or other tool for stirring, breathable cheesecloth to cover the jar, and a rubber band to secure the cloth. Now to begin this process, place your glass jar on your scale and turn it on. Make sure that it is tared so that it reads 0 grams. Next, you'll want to measure 50 grams of whole wheat flour into the jar. Then add 50 grams of the filtered water. The whole wheat flour gives us a head start because it contains more wild yeast in general than white flour. You could also substitute this for rye flour, which also tends to have a bit more wild yeast on the surface. Next, you want to mix together the flour and the water until you see no dry flour. It should look like a thick pancake batter. Make sure to use your spatula, which can be made of silicone, wood, stainless steel, or any material that is non-reactive to the acids that will develop in your starter. Then you'll want to cover your jar with your breathable cheesecloth and secure it with a rubber band. This keeps contaminants out while allowing airflow for the wild yeast to enter and the starter to breathe. Place your jar in a spot that stays around 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's too cold, then nothing will happen. But if it's too hot, then you risk killing the developing culture. Creating a starter teaches us that you cannot rush this process. Just like you cannot rush spiritual growth, both require daily faithfulness, even when you don't see immediate results. Over the next 7 days, your starter will go through fascinating changes. You might see bubbles appear and disappear, notice different smells, and watch as wild yeast gradually takes hold. Starting tomorrow, I'll be sharing daily shorts showing you exactly what to look for each day, what's normal and what's not. You'll see the actual progression of a starter from day one to ready to bake. Now, don't get me wrong, this new starter that I'm creating for you with this content, it's not going to necessarily replace Gloria. Gloria is tried and true. We will be keeping her around. But I'm excited to take you on this journey as I develop this new starter. And perhaps in a future video, you guys can help me come up with a good name for it. Next Friday, we'll dive deeper into the benefits of sourdough, troubleshooting tips for when things don't go as expected, and the clear signs that tell you when your starter is ready to make bread. For example, if you see a layer of liquid on top, don't panic. That's called hooch, and it's completely normal. And one key sign of readiness, your starter should double in size within 4 to 8 hours of feeding. A quick side note, feeding is just a way of describing giving your starter equal parts of flour and water, because it's through that flour that the yeast and the bacteria are thriving. Whether you're a complete beginner, someone who's tried and failed before, or dreaming of eventually turning your sourdough passion into a profitable microbakery, mastering your starter is where it all begins. If you're ready to start your own sourdough journey, I'm working on creating a comprehensive sourdough starter checklist that will take all the guesswork out of the process. This would include day-by-day guidance, troubleshooting tips, and everything you need to create a thriving starter with confidence. If you're interested in a resource like this to help start your journey on the right foot, comment starter below to let me know. If there's enough interest, I'll make it available as soon as possible. Remember, every master baker started with that first mixture of flour and water. Your starter journey begins with one simple step, and I'm here to guide you through every day of this process of sourdough baking. Subscribe for daily starter updates beginning tomorrow, and I'll see you next Friday when we go deeper into the world of sourdough. Until then, may your kitchen be filled with the joy of creation, patience, and faith.